Leaning into your circles, if you have fellow entrepreneurs and high achieving friends in different spaces, but being able to bounce ideas off of them, or just sort of sit down and be like, hey, Tara, I'm overwhelmed. This is on my heart. Can I just like bounce this idea off you or chat it through? I mean, Kristina's been the recipient of some of my voice notes or things. And I'm like, no, I'm over this. I can't. No, done. Finished.
Get it.
Period.
I totally get it.
It's like a verbal temper tantrum. And then I'm like, you know what? Never mind. Things are back on and I'm fine now.
Yeah.
It's like a circle back.
Well, we all deserve. I mean, look, we're all going to dive into big challenges. And we're going to have days that we want to quit. Mm-hmm. Might even have weeks where we want to quit.
Months are fine too, people.
Yeah. Months are fine too. Been there. And, you know, so having those moments aren't, you know, those are normal and they should happen. But what will also help you feel better about those moments is if you plan, right? And if you at least can come back to some concrete planning when, you know, we have our moments, we get our heads back on and we go, okay, why are we doing this? And I love that. Like I'm actually on a platform called Intro, and it's really cool because people can book me out for, you know, increments of 15 minutes to bring a question they have about their business. Maybe they're at a pain point or in a growth stage. You know, we can work through it during that time.
Is it like a mentorship platform?
Yeah, it's really a place. I'd say the elevator pitch on it is like it connects you to experts. So you can.
Like Jacqueline's on it, Alli Webb's on it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you pay for it? Like, am I living under a rock? I'm like, what is this?
Well, you don't pay a subscription or anything for it. You can literally go on and you can find someone in a space that you're interested in a space that you're in, and say, oh, this person has the experience of what I'm trying to do. And then they can book, you know, an expert out for certain amounts of time and talk about, again, that growth point, that pain point.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Honestly, and by the way, it's amazing for me. What's so great is people will be coming, you know, showing up with their challenges, and I get off those calls. And actually, it's one of my favorite things to do when I'm having a rough time, when I maybe feel in a lull or I'm, you know, questioning myself or not feeling super confident. I get off a call with someone that's showing up, kicking ass, you know, going after their dreams, and all of a sudden the fire's back in my belly because of them.
I find that really beneficial even with rooms or like hotels. I mean, I think we're all excited about staying at this Montage Laguna Beach while we're here.
I haven't been yet. I'm just so excited.
Girlfriend, buckle up.
Yeah.
It's actually good that you haven't been yet, because you probably wouldn't be sitting here. You'd be like, I'm never leaving.
Yeah, it's magical. And it was the first time Matt and I arrived and checked in yesterday. And I think at one point I was like, I think this is a tear in my eye. This feels really beautiful and really expansive. And I really have grown to appreciate being in environments that make me feel expanded and inspired. And whether that be, you know, networking rooms where you're having some of those conversations, like what this platform sounds like is a version of that, but virtually. We know whether it's being in a room having those conversations with people, or just in the environment that makes you feel capable of embodying your higher self, your biggest goals and your dreams.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
That they're closer, like they're more within reach. You're like, I belong here.
Yeah.
This is where I thrive.
Yep.
And how you can hopefully feel creative.
What's been key for you, Tara, like as you've built out your career, like what's been key for you in nurturing your relationships?
Integrity.
Yeah.
Look, lots of lessons. And so I have had massive personal growth. I mean, when I started and I was a kid, you know, so looking back almost 2 decades, being able to keep your word, knowing that it's a small world, but showing up when you say you're going to show up, little simple things, have been really critical to keeping relationships in place and expanding them, because I have been the beneficiary of so much free advice and time from unbelievable people. And I have to say that that's because, if I made a promise to someone or I showed up for someone, they felt comfortable enough to intro me to someone or say, hey, you should take this person's call, and then paying that forward. So like consistently keeping word, having integrity. And even at the moments where maybe I fell short of that, very quickly knowing like I need to get back in line with that has been really like, I think about that almost on a daily level when I go to work is, am I showing up with integrity? Am I keeping my word? And if I'm doing those things, I really do believe that good things will play out. So that's been huge with relationships. Yeah.
We were talking about that earlier today, and I feel like it's been a repetitive note in all of these conversations today about how building relationships really starts with being a nice person, being kind, and respectful, and how people want to do business with people that they know, they like, and they trust. And that can go from building relationships in person, someone that you meet at a dinner, at a coffee shop, but also how that translates to online, because love it or hate it, being able to build relationships online is a really powerful tool.
Huge.
In today's world. For business growth, brand growth, and just building that relationship capital.
I would I would even add in there being interested.
Not worrying about being both interesting.
Just be an interested person. Be interested in other people and what they're doing and what they're building. I'm learning all the time. I mean, before we officially kicked off the talk right now, we were talking about, I said, I've been a student for the last 24 or 36 hours, sitting around tables that, I was just watching, listening, and being interested. I think that's so important. And I think that's just an extension of caring. And I think that's always a very easy thing that comes full circle.
I love being a student. I've been a passionate student of personal development for many, many years and have accelerated from, starting with books and podcasts to then making bigger investments and getting in rooms and masterminds, networking, but really leaning into the magic that comes from that. And carving out more time for that in, whether it be a day and a week, if it's like 20 minutes of reading every day, something positive, or a pod that you're consuming. But then also in a year of the investments that maybe you make and the dates that you put on your calendar.
Oh my gosh, without question.
Is that something that you actively do year over year?
Like really track kind of honestly, no. I'm bad about that. So this is funny because it's like I've got a mirror. I don't want to say a mirror, but like your spouse, your partner, whoever you're living with. My husband is the most disciplined human I know. Like he has routine and he does these things and he commits to this time for, development. I definitely ebb and flow. And I go to the well when I'm thirsty. And I, sometimes I'm
stray from the well.
Sometimes I'm dehydrated, girl. But then I go back. So I mean, it's not so much that, that's actually a priority. As I would like to get a little bit better with my discipline in that. But I do find that when I'm mindful of it, and when I need it, I go to it. There are some things that I really love that are just easy, but yet pack a punch. One of which is I'm a member of Growth Day, and I love Brendan's Daily Fires.
I've heard so many people just like love on that.
I love them, and I send them to people. I don't know if they listen to them. I hope they do when I send them. But it's sometimes they're as short as 5 or 6 minutes. Sometimes they're as long as 17 or 19 minutes.
Wow!
But
he does it every day.
Every single day.
Gosh, I applaud that.
It's incredible.
But he's a very routine individual as well.
Yes, right? Like on it. And that's something that I can do, if I'm walking the dogs or even if I'm just making my coffee or whatever it is. I know that I can go, that there's something consistent there that I can go to, and I can get that in and kind of reset my thoughts, reset my head. But yeah, so I'm not as consistent on the daily level, but I think in chunks, I'm consistent where, certain planning by quarter, or like we're going into, in November here is like, all right, let's start planning out 25.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what does that look like?
Do you have a strategy for New Year planning?
I have a kind of a twofold,
A blueprint, if you will.
kind of, yeah, it kind of is. It is. But so I just do it on, PowerPoint. So lame. I'm not that fancy.
That is new. I have not heard anyone say they do their planning on PowerPoint.
Really?
You get a gold star. That's very impressive.
Okay. So I actually have circles inside circles. And what they represent are timelines. Like each circle is a portion of time. And then I put goals in there. So
Okay, wait. So are we talking quarter? Are we 12 circles, like one per month, or are we quarterly?
It could be like one might have, because I do it for our family, for Matt and I.
Okay.
And then
And the dogs?
Yes, of course, and the dogs. And then I have one like for myself. That's things that I'm working on independent, of not working on with Matt. But it could be, 3 or 4 circles, and one of them represents this needs to happen in the next 12 months. This can happen between 24 and 36. This is 48. And then I keep moving them as they're achieved. And sometimes I put stuff in the parking lots. So it's more of like this big picture, but there's accountability to, am I trying to get this done in 12 months? Am I trying to get this done in the next, year and a half? What is that?
Do you guys revisit these? Because I feel like every year I do something similar, not on PowerPoint.
Canva, maybe?
I'm more of a written woman.
I love to write.
Right?
Love.
I think there's something cathartic about it, about writing it out. But I write it and then I close the book and I forget the book exists. So how do you keep those goals kind of like top of mind?
So that's actually why I started this on an airplane. I want to say it was like 2 years ago, was because I would keep doing it in one of my notebooks. And I'm not obviously carrying around 30 notebooks. So this is on my home screen of my laptop, the one that I travel with, the one that I work on, right? So it's
like a vision board.
It's on there. Yeah. And that's actually what it is. It's a vision board. So it's just on there. It's with me all the time. Because it's digital, I can update it. And that's what I like to do. But I'm definitely a work in progress of like, how does this work? What does this work? And I don't like to get like that kind of stuff. I like to build out big picture, but then I really like to chunk. So for me, looking at 25, I might have some banner goals for the year, but really I don't care about anything except for Q1.
Eye on the prize.
Cause like
Laser focused.
what does or doesn't happen in Q1 is going to affect then what I'm doing, right? Q2, Q3 and Q4. So having that big goal is important, but I can only control so much of it. There's going to be, who knows? There's so many things out of our control, whether you're dealing with physical products, personal brands, there's something, technology, things that are just out of our control. So kind of learning how that actually allows us to perform. But I always say like, stick to the numbers, at least like have your projections, know what those are, know if you're going to hit them, know when to raise the flag and say, I'm not going to hit them, or I am going to hit them. Like not in the 11th hour. So you can make pivots and get there. But I am a stickler for numbers.
I'm really loving this circle process. Like I might just need to sneak a little peek for a visual example. Because I am also a notepad girl.
Yes.
With multiple colored pens, I will specify.
Oh, that's fun.
And Christina's probably not shocked. And yeah, we segment them between fitness and wellness goals.
Yeah.
We'll have home goals, personal, business, and revenue goals based off of all of our businesses. So it is number specific.
Amazing.
And we will revisit the notebook a few times a year.
Nice.
Just to sort of see like, how are we on course? Like, what do we need to improve on? What are we crushing?
That's great.
And it feels good. Sometimes then you might need to like, okay, I got to pick up the slack. We need to do this or do this.
Yep.
I'm a really goal-oriented person. And so I like that. But I also really love a celebration.
It works. You have to celebrate. You have to. I'm really big on that. I live for fun. Live for fun. Live for fun. I'm like, no, this was a win. We have to acknowledge it as a win.
How do you celebrate? Like I have seen like a full Jeroboam of Perrier Jouet on your Instagram, and that's how I was like, oh my gosh, we might have just become best friends from afar.
That was a great
know,
time.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a giant bottle of champagne.
Actually, it was bigger than a Jeroboam.
It was. I said Jeroboam. I'm like, I'm wrong.
No, it was funny because it was a Salamanzar, and that is like 9 liters of champagne in a single bottle.
And did you drink it all?
We did. I didn't drink it by myself. I shared it in a room with people, and it was really fun. And it kind of became its own entity. It was like a whole thing of, pouring it, throwing it. What are you doing with this thing?
It's like a full like floor vase. Like you
it
have
was
like
like
a
this
beautiful
tall.
plant.
It was
in that.
literally
A very skinny plant, actually.
Insane. It was
Parasites.
It was huge. It was. It's funny, but no, I really do. Look, I enjoy. I do enjoy. I love going out for a great time. Love it. So, to me, that could be like, let's even if it's a restaurant that we like locally, or like, hey, let's go up to New York for 2 nights and go try these places that we want to do that we haven't done. I love a spa. I live for a spa.
Me too.
Oh,
Did you just become best friends?
Yeah, I'm a spa woman.
I live for a spa.
We should have done this at a spa. The next one at a spa.
Next one.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
We'll have to rent it out, but that'll be great.
Even
Spa
better.
party.
That'll be our next milestone.
I love that.
I'm all for that. Yeah, but I love a spa. I just think those little treats. For me, it's dining, it's imbibing, and it's spaing.
Because I feel like it helps you to continue feeling inspired and being a high achiever.
Yep.
I really love the balance and energy that comes from setting big goals, taking the action, because that's really important, and then celebrating the win.
Yep. Yeah. It's just so easy to get in the vortex and stepping out and going, hey, maybe sometimes even and celebrating and acknowledging the things that might not be a win, but it's still something that you can say, I work for myself right now. Or I'm doing this thing today that I love.
Yeah.
How great is that? And, just being present helps, I think, so much with acknowledging those things. But
Are you a gratitude practice girl?
yes. We regularly practice the power of 9.
I love the Power 9.
We love it. That we got from Chris and Lori. And
My husband is like the least, he's going to edit these podcasts, but he is like the least into these types of things. So I'm like, okay, 3 things we're grateful for, 3 people we're wishing well.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't even think of anybody. I don't know. I'm not grateful. I'm like, oh. So you guys really soak this in with your husband. I love this for you.
well, I found it was something that we weren't doing. And not surprising that like we weren't then really building together. And I was like, okay, we need to do this. It's going to feel awkward. You get over that hump. I noticed the times that I'm really should be doing it is when I don't want to do it. And then we force it. They'll be like, oh, 3 things you're excited about. I'm like, I'm not excited about anything.
Yeah.
I'm like a 3-year-old. I'm like, nothing is good. And then, you hold me accountable. And I finally get over that hump and I say it. And I'm like, okay, it's better.
I also feel so seen because Matt and I have totally had some of those days recently where, and then sometimes I try to know my audience with Matt. And I love that both of us are referring to Matts in our life.
Yeah.
And I'll try to like read the room. Like, I just feel like the Power 9 right now is going to be a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to know my audience.
Power 4?
Yeah, Power 0.
Yeah.
But it's so true that in those moments that is so often when you need to be like, okay, we need to push through and we're going to feel better after this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what we're grateful for and truly like what we're excited about. Like how lucky are we to build a business together or live in this house with a roof over our head and 3 healthy dogs, then you kind of get yourself going.
Yeah. Especially like this year's been really tough. Building anything I think has been really tough. Probably the last couple years, this year especially, if you're trying to capitalize something, capital has been very hard. And I've found that a lot of people share that same experience, even if they're raising capital for other spaces. We just came off of so many years where capital was basically free. It was cheap because interest was 0%. So like lending money was the name of the game. And now it's not. And it's such a stark difference to the previous years that it feels really dry. It just makes you work harder for it. And I found so that's been frustrating. But at the same time, it's also pushed me to have to get really creative. Like, wait a second, there's another path. What is that path? But those have probably been my biggest challenges with my Power of 9 this year. But it keeps moving forward.
And with entrepreneurship and, even having a challenging season like you've just shared, how would you lean into community? Being if you're a solopreneur, or if you are I know you and Matt do two very different things, different industries, but how does the power and the magic and energy of community come into effect with what it is that you do in a daily basis, building your brand, your business, and then the other brands that you are building?
I would say community, what seems very obvious, but it's just true. So if I answer this correctly, let me know. If not, I'll follow back. But
there's no wrong answers here.
It's the right type of community.
You're like, do this alone. You don't need people.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No, but it has been. So I raise my hand. I'm not someone that is afraid to ask for help. In fact, one of the things I love telling people about is, and a little separate from where I'm going, but like, I cold call on LinkedIn all the time to like big people that you probably think don't even look at their LinkedIn, and 9 times out of 10 they respond. Cold calling on LinkedIn is the real deal.
Yeah.
Do not sleep on it, because people are actually there still just for business.
Yeah.
And they take it seriously. And I have had unbelievable leads, and also some really cool like gratitude circles. Like, if I had a good business experience at a major corporation, I've messaged like the president of the company. We're talking about major companies. And I was like, so-and-so at branch 11, when I was visiting my in-laws, da-da-da. And then like 3 weeks later, I'll get an email that they called this person out and, were seen in their company for like great customer service or whatever. Really cool stuff. So LinkedIn. But community, because I ask for help. I raise my hand, even if it means looking a fool. And I look like a fool all the time. But I'll say, hey, I think that you know about this. Can you help me? And people either say, oh, that's actually not what I do, but this person can.
Yeah.
So the web of assistance I've gotten from community. And I think also then too, just talking about it. I had someone the other day say to me, oh, I don't want to put it out there. I don't want to jinx it. Or I don't want to put it out there. And I go, oh, no, you put it out there, because that is when it comes back. I cannot tell you the amount of times. In fact, I'm going to tell you that there has not been a time that I haven't said something radically audacious. Like, I want to build a company that mirrors this company. And I'm not kidding you. A month later, I'm sitting at the dinner table with the global COO.
Yeah.
And it like doesn't even make sense that I'm there. It's not like, oh, well, Tara, of course, or you could, no, it's that bizarre. And I believe in putting it out there for myself, putting it out there with my community, and letting that web kind of weave. It's just, I don't know how you do.
And you get closer and closer to it, I find. Like when you put stuff out there, it's like amazing that not only the universe, but like people, I'm so woo. People want to bring your dreams closer to fruition, So even Jess, who was here before, she owns a really large company that's like very popular in Canada. And I met her at an event in LA. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like, great. And she goes,
girl crush energy over there.
Yeah. The podcast. Yeah. I was like obsessed.
Big afternoon for Kristina and Alli.
Yeah. Big time. So her and I were chatting, and I was like, oh, there's this company I really want to connect with, because they have this product, and I think they'd be great for my event. And she's like, I'm an investor in that company. And I have LinkedIn messaged the CEO of that company. I have messaged them on Instagram. I've tagged them and things. I'm like, I want to collaborate with you. I actually want to give them money. Like, that's like amazing. The point I'm at.
Yeah.
I get on the phone with the CEO. She's like, oh my gosh, like so many ways we can collaborate. It's a done deal.
It's great.
That would have never happened had I not been like, hey, I want this, like,
put it out
intro.
there.
I had no idea they even knew each other, right? Like, it's so incredible.
That's great.
And there was no reason for that to happen, right?
Yeah. Well, the reason was that you put it out there.
Yeah.
So you're expanding it. It's being received. I love that. I'm such a
Needed.
I'm
Such
a big
believer.
advocate for that too. And I feel like there are still a lot of people that hold their cards really close to their chest.
Yeah.
And I think there's time and place for that,
Yeah.
depending on what it is. But I think there's so much momentum and magic that can come from putting it out there.
Yeah.
Talking about it, sharing it. Because exactly to, Tara, what you've shared about the dinners that you might end up having a seat at.
You never know.
Kristina, what you've shared about this is a high vibe women experience.
Yeah.
What can come from that? And you never know who is involved with it.
Yep.
Or who has a referral.
Yeah.
I think it is really amazing. And it also kind of has a beautiful foray into the art of collaboration, which I think there's a real rise for that as well.
Oh my gosh. I think, and I do feel like we've turned a corner in zero sum to abundance. Right. And I think that's the nice thing about making sure that you're in the right networks and the right rooms. And we're certainly all a part of that. And what we'll all be enjoying in the next couple of days, is led by people that live thinking about abundance, because it's true, right? Like your success doesn't lessen my opportunity for success.
Yeah.
And, all the way around. In fact, rising tides,
Lift
all
boats.
ships sail. And, a lot of people really get excited about wanting to see you win. There's no reason, there's no downside of it, right? So it creates good communities. It creates good people. I love that.
And there's enough for everyone to experience it.
So
There's lots
much.
to go around.
So much. Yeah. There's no shortage.
And I think that even comes back to working on, the abundance mindset.
Yep.
And embodying the energy and then what actually comes from that physically, if it were monetary, however you want to break it down.
Yeah.
But it's this work between energy and mindset and the people that you spend the time with.
I even talk to people all the time, and I'll be transparent if I'm working on something that is a like one-to-one, right? Like same category, same idea. And I'll be like, hey, FYI, happy to like, if you want to talk to me, great. Just want to let you know that I'm working on this. If that makes you uncomfortable, great. Most times people still want to have the conversation, but I think that we are also unique in our individual talents and our individual visions of how we see, you have to trust your own vision because that's what's going to make it unique. It's your thumbprint, right? It's your vision. That even if someone's doing something in the same space, you can do it so differently and they both can still win. And, even if someone's doing something differently doesn't mean it's better or worse. That's the nice thing. There's how many billion people on the planet?
Yeah.
Someone's going to like your flavor more than they like mine. And that's not right or wrong. It's just the reality. So it's how do we all do that and cheer each other on along the way,
I'm here for that. I'm here for that energy big time.
It's good stuff.
Well, I'm loving this conversation and it's gone in so many different directions. And
All over the place.
but I love it.
Yeah,
so high
good.
value. I have a couple of rapid fire questions
Great.
for you. Kristina, you want to play with rapid fire questions as well?
Oh my gosh. Okay, sure.
Okay, great.
I don't know what any of these are, so like just so you know, we're on the same
Great.
page. We're like in it together.
This is so fun. Okay, so Tara, you get to answer first. Kristina, you get to answer second. Then we'll go to the next question.
Okay, love it.
Question run. Morning person or nighttime person?
Ooh, morning all day.
Nighttime.
Ocean or mountains?
Mountain.
I think ocean.
Okay.
Like air conditioning was not an option. There was no indoor option. Sorry,
Nope.
that was weird.
Very, very outdoorsy.
Yeah.
Date night in or date night out?
Out.
Out.
What is on your joy list?
Just one thing?
No, things, plural. What things are on your joy list?
Dancing.
Love that.
My gosh. Joy list? Why is it so hard?
I know it is hard.
I'm like, feel like Santa with a scroll. Like, let me see.
Santa.
Yeah. Joy list is definitely, it's so experiential for me. Like dancing. I like, joy list is like freedom, choices, like,
Tequila.
Yes, of course. Tequila.
That's it.
Yeah. And good company. That's on my joy list. Good company. Yeah. I have a no asshole rule.
Oh. Did we make the cut?
Yeah, of course.
Great
That's why we're
news.
here.
Great news.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Joy list.
Right now it's time home. Being with my fam.
Patrick.
My doggo Patrick. Yeah, so time home. And celebrating like new seasons, like thinking about life in a new way.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't say, my dogs bring me so much joy.
I can't believe it was like tequila came out so fast.
I know.
Dogs.
I felt the pressure, the seat. I felt the pressure of the
We can
seat.
circle back. Do you have anything to add to the joy list?
The dogs.
The
Your
dogs.
husband?
Oh, yeah. Come on. No. Did I say the dogs?
Yeah.
Okay, and we are going to round it out with 3 things that you're grateful for.
Oh, my gosh. I am so grateful for a sound mind and healthy body. I am grateful for my husband every single day. He makes me better. And I am grateful for fellowship. And that comes in a lot of forms, and this is one of them. So I'm very abundant in fellowship right now, and it's never lost on me.
I love that. Yeah. Those are really great.
Oh, goodness. Okay. I'm not going to be as articulate. I'm really grateful for the Greek food we had for lunch. No, grateful for friends that always feel like family coming over here. It always feels like I have my own little like squad here and some new members. Yeah. Grateful for super expansive conversations that make you think a little differently or make you dream up new things that weren't in your horizon previously. And grateful for, I think, like what bodies can do, like for health and
amazing.
Yeah, like what's, especially as women, like what's possible for us and for Greek food. Alli, what about you? What are your 3 gratitudes?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm grateful for this moment and this day. It's really cool to think that I'm still kind of a rookie on the podcast game. And it's something that I've really enjoyed, and especially the in-person interviews. I really like those. So I'm really grateful for today to be able to spend it with incredible guests and an amazing husband and wife duo, Danny and Brienne, that are here with us today, that are also friends that are like family. So I'm really grateful for that. I'm really grateful for being able to experience the Montage Laguna Beach. When Matt and I drove in yesterday with our Uber,
this
I was
is
like,
an ad.
It just felt like it was like this moment that just kind of poured over me of how like I would have dreamt of staying at a place like this as my younger self, and I feel really grateful to be able to be pulling in and staying here, and that's not lost on me. And being able to soak in this experience, and for Matt and I to be able to do this together, because we met when we worked for someone else, where you submitted your vacation request and hopefully it was processed, and I'm grateful for that, very much so. And I'm grateful for our Benchmark Fitness community at home and our team that keeps our ship running when we're away, and so that we get to do things like this and thrive and come back better and stronger and more inspired.
And that's a big celebration too.
Yeah.
That's great.
We'll have what was it called again, that giant bottle?
Oh yeah, a Salamanzar.
Yeah, I want one of those of Perrier Jouet.
We're going to start working on that. See where we can dig one up.
Love that. Tara, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Joining both of us here on the couch.
So nice.
Oh yeah, so fun. We were gonna do these separately, and timing didn't allow for that, so I'm so glad we got to do it together and to get to know you, Tara. You have such an amazing story, and I'm so excited for whatever's next for you and however we can support that.
Oh, thank you.
Where can everyone find you? LinkedIn for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, obviously I do love LinkedIn. I am on Instagram, but I don't really. It's more personal, but I'm there. You can find me. And then my company, AttolloBrands.com. So you can find me there.
Amazing. We'll link everything in the show notes. And so much love and gratitude for you as an amazing human, brand builder, entrepreneur, and just all around awesome person.
It's amazing. Thank you. Right back at you.
Mwah.
Mwah.
Yay. Thanks so much for listening to Community with me, Kristina Bartold, and I'm just so excited to continue the conversations. If you're looking to grow your community and learn more about social, join us at thesocialbusinessclub.ca and use the code podcast to get your first month for $1. Share this episode with your friends and on social, or leave a review. It means the world.